Right everyone, welcome back. So this is my lilac tree. This was a cut-in from my hedge about 2 years ago. It's been in this pot ever since. So today it's going to have its first proper root prune and repot. And I know it's going to be a pain, this one. It's got massive mat of roots coming out the bottom. Suckers shooting up all over the surface of the soil here. So I'm fully expecting this to be quite a complicated root pruning, but it needs to be done. So I'll bring you over and I'll show you the tree and then we'll make a start. Okay, so here's the tree. If you remember, we pruned this in a previous video not too long ago, and all the buds are starting to swell now. It's just about to come out into leaf. So today I'm going to be repotting it, and I'm thinking it's going to be quite a difficult one. It was growing into the ground, so there's loads of roots coming out the bottom of the pot, and we've got suckers. The lilacs grew from root suckers, so each one of these grows up from the root system, and you can separate them off into individual plants if you wanted to. There's a bit of ivy there, don't want that. So first thing we've got to do is try and get it out of the pot, and then we can have a look at the roots. Okay, so hopefully you've got a good angle there. Looks like it should be alright. So the first thing we've got to do is get this out of the pot, obviously, which may be easier said than done. But what I normally do is try and lift it and bash the pot off. So if I can get problem is the top's hitting the roots. Okay, there we go. And hopefully I'll be able to get it into a smaller pot. What on earth is that? So, that looks like a new root that's grown there, an active one. I can't see any other active roots. So hopefully we're on time. I think what these are is I think they're the root suckers that come up, like these ones. So I don't really need any more lilac, and they grow so easy from cuttings. Kind of pointless for me to save these, but that being said, I might try and save a few. But anyway, first thing I've got to do is try and get all this soil and stuff off of here so you can see the roots. So you can see how many suckers there is sticking up all over the place. So I'm just going to start scraping away. And I'm going to find a tool to use. I've got my little chopstick, which I find quite handy. So just a case of working away at it. Try and get as much soil off as possible. Look at all the suckers coming off here. Oh, didn't get any roots on that one, but so if we can salvage a few, I may well pot some up, but I'm not too bothered if I can't, because I've got unlimited supply of cuttings from my hedge of lilac. So I won't bore you with the whole thing of me sat here for ages raking all this off. So I'll carry on and then I'll get back to you. So I'm still chipping away at the soil, trying to get as much off as I can. And you can see it's just a mess of roots and all sorts. One thing I will say is when you're doing this, Be careful you don't flick soil in your eye. I keep doing it. I know I should probably wear something to protect my eyes, but I never do, and I always end up flicking soil in my eyes. So just a caution there. I need to go throw away all this soil. So that'll just go on my veg garden bed. So I'll get that. I'll be back in a minute. Right, so carry on again. The chopstick's just not cutting it, so I've just got a little trowel, a little fork. I'm just going to chip away. It doesn't matter if I damage these roots too much. Obviously they grow well from cuttings, so as long as there's some roots in there by the time I'm finished, should be fine. So you'll find that with most things that grow easily from cuttings, you don't have to worry too much about damaging roots. If you do it at the right time of year, you can basically cut all the roots off and it'll still be fine. That being said, I will try and salvage as much roots as I can. Hopefully we've got some nice radial ones in here. So I'm just going to carry on and then I'll get back to you. So we are getting there, slowly but surely. Chipping away at the soil. It's got quite compacted in the middle there. Surprising how much soil actually can be on these. So I'm going to empty the tray again and carry on. Still going with these roots. It's only taken me about 20 minutes so far. I'm finally down to the root base here. See, it's starting to spread quite nicely at the bottom there. That's good. So I'm going to take over and see if I can wash some of this soil out in a minute. First, I think it was buried quite deep because there's quite a big chunk in the middle there. So I'm going to have to start cutting some of these off. That one just broke. Look at that. So I might salvage that. I mean, I'm not sure what I can do with it, but is that a root or don't know? Yeah, that's how easy they are to grow anyway. It's just suckered off of the main root from the plant and shot up 4 or 5 shoots, and it's got a fair amount of roots, so that could be salvaged. Try that down there. So another one. If I felt like making more cuttings. So I'm just yanking these off. It's about to get dark, so I've got like half an hour to get this done. I don't want to rush, but I might as well get rid of these because we're not going to want them. There's so many new plants out of them if I wanted to. So we're getting there now. So I'm going to take over and give it a wash, I think. See if we can get some of this soil off. Okay, so into the water butt it goes. Looks a bit better. Give it one more swoosh. Take it back into the greenhouse. Okay, so the roots are clean. So much lighter now without all that soil on it. So that's the roots. What a mess. Amazing how they're all grown in 2 years. Where to begin? So, to begin with, I'm going to cut off all the thick ones that I can see, just to clear the way. There's a big thick one come off there. More suckers coming off of it. That's a sucker, that'll come up, that'll grow up, break the surface of the soil and then turn into another tree. So we've got plenty of roots up here, plenty of relatively decent radial-ish roots. I'll just get rid of that other sucker from in there, if I can find where it goes. It's kind of coming out and going sideways. So I'm thinking I can probably chop off most of the bottom bit down here. If I can find where it goes, because we've got plenty of roots up here. And it'll make life a lot easier if I just get rid of that. So I'm just going underneath and I'm going to cut off the whole bottom of it. Good God. There we go. That makes life easier. So I'm just going to tidy up here and then I'll bring you in for a closer look. Okay, so this is what we're left with. I've got to do a bit more sorting out on here, but you can see at some point, well, these are all roots, so this would have been the base of the tree, and then these roots have kind of all fused, but it's giving the impression that the chunk's quite thick down the bottom there, so I'll leave up to about there exposed for now, and I'll sort these out. So most of them are radial anyway, so that's not too bad, but I will sort them out a bit. Well, this is what we took off. Oh, look how thick that was. That's actually a bit of the main trunk, I think. Don't know. But if I planted that, I'm sure that would shoot up loads of new trees. So what I've been doing with them, I'll just throw them down there for now, but I don't really want any more lilacs. I'm not really massively keen on them, to be honest. So what I've been doing with all the cuttings and suckers and stuff that I find, I've just been throwing them in the bottom of the hedge and the hedges along. I'm sure they'll find their way to root in and start growing, so hopefully it'll fill out the hedge a bit more. Anyway, let's see what else we can do to this. It's not too bad. I'll get it back on the tripod and we'll have another little look, see if we can improve it any more. I don't want to remove too much more, although like I said, I'm sure that would be fine. With hardly any root it would still be fine, because they root so easily, these lilacs. Anyway, let's carry on. Okay, so let's start raking these out and see what we've got here. Some really interesting looking trunk going on. All these merged roots and stuff. Some may say it's interesting, some may say it's ugly. I don't mind it, as it is. And that's all that counts at the end of the day. So I'm just trying to figure out if I need to remove any more. There's one which is a bit high up here, which I'll take off. Go on there. Oops. There's a little branch there as well that can come off. Okay, so I'm just going to trim these long ones. Any that are kind of curling around and going back up, or any that are coming straight out from the bottom, they're coming off. Oops, sorry guys, hopefully you saw that. I didn't realise I lifted it up past where the camera can see. Right, so I think it's about as good as I can get it today, because I want to get it strong again, grow some more roots, and on the next root pruning we can do a lot more work. And I'm hoping all these, you see all these, they should merge together eventually. And if I bury it down to about there, we get new roots coming out. You see there's a few bare patches around there, but it's not too bad. So that's what we're left with. Plenty of roots on there to sustain the tree. So I'll go find a suitable pot. Doesn't need to be as big as the one it came out of, I don't think. And I'll get rid of all these roots and tidy up, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so I think I'm just going to put it back in a flower pot. I've just found this one. It's quite shallow, quite big round one, and that should give it plenty of room to grow for the next year. And then next spring I can get out the pot again, do some more work on the roots. So I'm going to bury it quite deep, just in standard compost. I ran out of grit, so I've got a little bit left, so I'll put that in the bottom. I've got a little bit of gritty soil left. Nowhere near enough to do the whole thing, so put it in the bottom. It'll aid the drainage a bit, and then the rest of it will just be normal compost. Okay, so I'm starting to lose light. Luckily the camera's got better eyes than I have. I think you can still see, so we'll just get this done quite quickly. It's the same process as I've showed you on all the other ones. I'm just going to fill it up most of the way, break up any big lumps from this compost, and I'll mound it up in the middle. Hopefully you can see. Right, sorry about that guys, I've filled up the camera. So I'm just going to put it in here on top of the mound of soil, like so. And I'm going to bury it down to just, I'm going to cover all the roots, make sure they're well under the soil. So somewhere about there. So we've exposed about another inch or so of the trunk. And then I'm just going to apply it straight. I'm not too worried about the angle for now. So somewhere about there should be good. Yeah, I'll just fill in around it with compost. And then lift it up a bit to work the soil in underneath. Hopefully it'll stay there. I'll get some more soil. So I'm just working it in, lifting the tree up a bit, trying to get it all settled in around the roots. Now I'll just top the rest up. I'll firm it in a bit and adjust the angle if needed. So I think that looks good. A bit more compost. And then I'll go get some water. The only problem is I'm running out of space in the greenhouse now, so yeah, it's just going to have to stay up here on the bench for a while till I can clear space. I'll fully saturate the soil. Give it a shake about. We're not quite level here, so it's coming up to the front of the pot. I'll tilt it back and try and shake the soil around. And then I'll water again in a few minutes once it's soaked through. Right, so that's that one done. So I've just been picking off this moss. I don't know why it keeps growing up here. I have picked off before. It just grows back on. It's actually making it start to root. See where the moss has been, it's got little root knobbles on it. One more thing I will do is I'll put a couple of heavy rocks around the base. This moss I'll just scatter on the surface of the soil. It'll either dry out and feed the soil, or it'll continue growing and moss over the top. So I'll go find a few rocks. Right, so I've got a few nice stones, rocks. So I'll just put them up so that they're just touching the trunk so that they support it. It'll just hold it in a bit. Also stops the cats digging in the soil. So that's the lilac repotted. So that's looking pretty good now after we pruned it before, and now that it's repotted. So it's not a bonsai pot, obviously. That'll be the next stage after we've probably about another year or two. And after its next root pruning, I'll put it in a bit of a nicer pot. Maybe one of these circular ones. I quite like these terracotta circular pots. They're cheap. Either that or I'll make another concrete one for it, like that one. Look at the blossom there coming on my little Kojo no Mi Fuji cherry. And my little juniper behind there. Well, not little. Anyway, so that's done for today. Getting dark now. It's going to be quite cold tonight, down to about 0 Celsius. It's 5.3 in here at the moment. I do have a little heater down here, which I have been putting on only when it's going to drop below 0. I've just got one of these little tiny plug-in heaters. They're really good, and it just keeps it to about 5 degrees in here. When it's below 0 outside, it keeps it about 5 to 10 degrees warmer. So that's good. Anyway, I'll get back to you in a sec. Okay everyone, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. So we've got this lilac repotted today. Pruned it up a couple of weeks ago, and it's looking pretty good now. So it's well on its way to becoming a bonsai. So thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hope you're all good. Hope you have a great weekend. See you later.